in US.
Yeah.
But, I think they're saying if you put one penny away, also 1 cent as you call it, you can be a millionaire by 30. If you put £100 away, $100 away, then you can be a millionaire by the time you're 25.
I wonder how they would feel if you went and you just gave them a penny a day. Just give me a lump sum.
They might like it. You never know, right? They might say thank you. I mean, my penny jar thanks me every day. I put money in it.
There you go.
So I guess you have to create tools, right? So you're not actually talking to people. Putting your money into the pot, as we call it. Anyway, and I'm glad you're here. So I think this topic applies to all of us, right?
Yes, glad to be here.
We've got 3 people in the studio. Excellent. Who's falling off? April's still here. Sorry, April. I don't know why I took you off. Okay. So Lisa, we are here. So welcome, Dr. Lisa. Happy Wednesday.
Hey. Hi, Lisa.
That's Angelica and probably Calm. Doesn't involve me. I'm joking, Lisa. Don't kill me. You're fine. I was only joking, right? So Jackery, welcome. How you doing? It's been a while indeed. Glad you're here. Crystal, you in the studio now, which cheers me up. Okay. Tablobo, I see you as well. That's why I love these events, right? Right. So let's set the scene and let's have the conversation I think we want to have today. So we need to learn, right? Look,
yes.
This threat now, we love to have speakers in our events. Of course we do. But not everyone. Some people hate to have speakers. They love to hear themselves talk. And that's what I think anyway. Or they just don't trust people to come on stage and ruin their show the way they say it. I'd love to have speakers, and all my events are based on the conversation. I don't really care much for what's shared in terms of. I haven't got notes in front of me now to share with you because I know what I want to share. I know the conversation I want to have, right? And the audience are the one that bring the gems. Now you're the ones that bring the goods. We learn more from you than we do from ourselves, right? So but. So in the audio days, it felt easier to have people come on stage.
Yes.
Because people just raise their hands and you can bring them up. And lots of people got in the habit of raising their hands. Often it's the same people. Is that good or bad? I like it because as long as I've got people who come and share good stuff, I don't mind if they could do it every week, right? But no one wants to pick the speakers who want to come on and plug their stuff, and or some just come to cause arguments. Thankfully, they're less. What's the word I'm looking for? Less visible, less present these days on our shows, right?
Yes.
On YouTube, we call them trolls.
Yes. Well, I think they're doing you good, Krista. That's what I think.
Yeah. Like troll smacking, remember whack-a-mole? We call it whack-a-troll.
I can't whack them in the head, Crystal. They're in the show, right? So we have to be kind to them, But we want more speakers. And we want more of the audience come and speak to us on stage. It makes a better show. Full stop. Right?
It's fun.
I can think of many reasons why all hosts don't want more speakers. Things like some people don't pay for StreamYard, so they only have capacity for 6 people, so they feel pressured. They feel like if I let loose, then I might get overrun. But that's not a problem, right? You manage, StreamYard tells you who's in the studio, and if your studio is full, then it just tells you your studio is full. As soon as someone leaves, we'll bring the next person up. So that's not a problem to me. But so I think I'd say another reason is I think some hosts, like I say, they want to have their voice all over the show, which is if that works for them, good for them, right? That's normally called a webinar, where we're talking at you and you're making notes. Because webinars bore me. I don't do webinars. I do conversations, right? Now, so again, here's one of the weirdisms I find in this conversation. When us hosts go to different events, we don't speak. How weird is that? Go on, Crystal. Go on, Crystal.
That's not true because I host my own YouTube channel, and whenever I jump up in here, I do speak.
You do.
You ask me very pointed questions. You want to know what's going on, so you kind of put the host in me on the spot. And now you and I have discussed this in private. Whenever you give me the StreamYard link, you've told me that you are more than happy for me to stream to my channel as well, because it gives everybody more exposure to a completely different community. And especially this content that you are doing, Angelica and Annie, it is important, especially because a lot of my subscribers are also content creators. And a lot of them will just sit there and we'll talk and we'll go through the chat and stuff. But having a structured, topic as well, like an author spotlight or things like that, also helps with the grow. But yeah, a lot of times as a host, when we join somebody else's live, it's kind of just to give backup or a little bit of input, and then we'll just sit there quietly and observe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that.
And try and learn and everything. And you have watched me grow from the very beginning. You were in my very first audio room, and now I'm hosting my own YouTube channel. I've got over 500 subscribers. I can even host a 2-hour live of just me talking and interacting with the chat without needing a speaker, but having that speaker, having someone to interact with, it does make the flow better. So even if your chat's not participating, they're just listening, you have somebody to bounce off of. And it's a conversation, and it makes it more relatable, more personable when you have that person, especially like you and I, Annie, we have a great camaraderie. Angelica and I, we've been amazing friends for 5 years now. A lot of the LinkedIn community, we are able to bounce off of each other so well because we've done the audio rooms together. So it just gradually grew when we could no longer do the audio rooms.
Yeah.
Where it is more comfortable. And the one thing I do like about with StreamYard, we can pick and choose who we bring on stage. Indeed. Same with the audio rooms. And in StreamYard, we have the same balance that we had in the audio rooms, where if we've got a troll on stage, we can mute them as the host.
Or they fall off the screen accidentally. I don't know how it happened. They just fall off. It's like, where'd they go?
Annie, do I need to give you a little StreamYard tutorial real quietly?
Yes, please. Look, we'll need to learn the tricks of the trade.
Right? And I won't lie. Who I learned the tricks from? Dr. Constance Leland, to be honest. She, before my very first live with Paulette and she gave me a really quick tutorial on StreamYard, and I've learned how to use it since then and built on the knowledge that she gave me.
Nice.
So, and it's wonderful to see you, Angelica. It's been so long.
It's wonderful to see you too and hear you. I miss you.
For sure. Look, Kristen, that's a lot you shared there. So you said asking pointed questions definitely helps. And I said maybe the biggest thing I take, from what you said is having friends. That your friends will show up, and your friends will tend to come and share. Michael, you follow that class. Tobiloba, of course, you do. April, you do too, right? So people don't see. You know, our friends are the ones that come to speak, but I think we want more of the audience. We want more of them people that are not our friends yet. That's my point. You know, Vincent, I see you. Welcome, Vincent. So I feel like the challenge can be facilitating the group depending upon what the context is and the size of the group. Yes, 10 people in a room can be a problem, but tonight it's more fun. As a host, I find it more fun. Miss Angelica, what's your take?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because in one of my interviews with Pepe Serna, I was interviewing him, and then I started talking about me. Actually, he started asking me questions, and I go, "Well, you're the star of the show here. You're the one being interviewed." And he tells me, "It's more fun if we have a conversation. It's more fun that way." So we made it so that when you have other people in the room, that's when you make it more fun because you're having a conversation. It's not just one person talking, but the interaction is what makes it so much more fun, and you get to see the personalities and how people interact with each other, and what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. We won't talk too much about that. but and I think people feel more relaxed when you're having a conversation as opposed to giving it like you're in a speech mode, right? So I think it's a relaxed conversation, and you could talk about what you know, like right now, how Crystal talked about what she learned on about StreamYard. It's so easy. It makes it so much easier to be able to converse with us and talk about it. You know, we know Paulette and we know Dr. Constance, so we could relate, right?
For
So
sure.
I think that's those conversations I would recommend people having lives so that they can have those conversations. And you can have conversations about leadership, things uh, that are instrumental or that are very popular here on LinkedIn. Leadership's a big one. AI is another one, and
Yeah.
then this one too. What we're talking about here is how you could get more people interested on coming up to stage and speaking. And I think one of the things for that I would recommend is that we be approachable. So if we're approachable, then people are going to want to approach us and come up on stage. But if we're not having a good time, if we're looking standoffish, all of those things can make a person not want to come up and talk. So that's my speech or my share.
that's your $2 million share today.
And I'm sticking to it.
You know, yeah, well, you know, it's, you know, even if it doesn't look like fun, I'm definitely not. I'm not gonna go up on stage. You know, and look, and I say I'm very choosy. I think that, and I think the audience knows whether you really want them to come and talk or not, right? They really do. You know, you might think don't, but most people think, you know, I'll just be my grumpy self, and they'll come and talk. Maybe sometimes it works.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of a couple of shows where the hosts are contrary. You know, they like to be objectionable. They like to be acidic. Is the word I use for it, right? And but even then, they fill the stage with their friends. They feel, the same people who go on stage are the ones who go on stage. And no, the same people are the ones who turn up to the events, if anyone does at all. You know, saying that it is an issue, right? You know, so now there's many reasons I can think of why people won't want to go on stage. You know, you and Crystal have mentioned quite a few of them. I think one thing that's probably puts people off these days. I don't know whether the video thing is a problem. Because in audio you couldn't see them, and I think people felt safer mentally. You know, go on, Crystal.
All right, which I do agree with, but as you can see, April, calm. Both of them don't have their camera on, which is perfectly fine to stream, even on YouTube. quite a few people, especially when we're talking about the hard topics like I tend to do. You know, I talk about trauma bonds, I talked about domestic abuse and all of the hard topics. You know, a lot of like some of my guest speakers don't want to have their camera on because they don't, you know, they're not comfortable with the way they look or this, that, and the other, but they want to have their story get out there, you know? So you do have that option. And I always like to put that out there. You know, if you want to join the conversation, but aren't comfortable being on camera, it's perfectly fine. You know, we can still create the safe space that we had in the audio room because you don't have to have your camera on. The only thing like I ask is when you come into my StreamYard, before I bring you on stage, let me see that you're a real person. And then you can turn your camera off. Like I won't bring you up with your camera on. You know?
Yeah, and that's like watch you in the waiting area, you mean. That is, have your camera on, and then when it's your turn to come on stage, you can have your camera off. I can understand that. I think that makes perfect sense.
One thing, like when we're on StreamYard, like see how if you look in the comments right now, the little one with the like little circle, here's a little StreamYard thing for you. When you have people who are streaming to other channels through your events, if it has a little circle next to the comment on the person, like where it says Willie's Desert Hangout, that means that they are commenting on my channel.
Cool.
Just so do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've never thought, but no, it makes sense now. We live and learn, right? We always live and learn. Hold on. Lisa wants to kill me. Yeah, it's gonna kill. Yeah, look, I'm used to it now. It's fine. You know, I'm here to have fun. We'll come back to our list in a minute. Yes.
I don't want to monopolize. Because I have so much experience with this particular topic. I'm sorry, Angelica. This is your show, my love. I had wanted to come up because I love you and I haven't seen you in so long. And the topic is amazing. And I wanted to, you know, share all of your beautiful insights because you've helped me a lot when I was doing audio rooms, you know, with my confidence and everything. You know, so I know you have a lot of wonderful insights to give when it comes to just public speaking and everything. And the fact that you haven't been doing a whole lot of lives, whereas it's like, wow, for once, maybe I can impart some knowledge to my beautiful friend who's helped me in so many ways, you know?
No, look, we're grateful you're here. I said that.
Absolutely.
You shared many gems already. I said many things we can all learn. You know, the good thing about speakers is that it saves me saying it. When I say it, like oh whatever, and it's talking again. Oh, well, right. When Krista says it, like yeah, okay, that makes sense. You know, that's why I love speakers. Anyway, look, let's talk to our other guests who are here. Yolanda, I do see you. Glad you're here. Glad life is getting back on track as well. Yolanda, thank you so much for being here. Yolanda's book is next. When I talk about this book, it always takes time, but Yolanda's book, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there now. We're writing the perspectives of women on the story. You have to connect with her to know what the story is. You know, and so we're going to launch a book soon. The Bud Files, is that Crystal? That's one of Crystal's friends. Actually just explained to me.
Yep, that's one of mine.
Excellent.
Thanks for inviting, Crystal.
Yeah, thank you. Great. So great to see you, Prue. Glad you're here. Prue, it's been a while, right? It's been maybe a year and a half, maybe two. So I'm glad you're here, Prue. So we'll have to catch up soon, like I said to you in the DM. So Kayan, is that you pronounce your name? Good morning to you, sir, for sure. Glad you're here as well, always. Now, Crystal's got amazing friends on YouTube. You know, saying it helps all of us. I better turn my YouTube on. I forgot to turn my own. Right, Willie's Desert Hangout. I have no idea who Willie's Desert Hangout is, but it's hopefully I get to meet these people sometime. You know, Tracy, one of our amazing event hosts, and always a great speaker at our events as well. And she has amazing backgrounds. That's what I love her backgrounds. Of course, she shares gems as well. Welcome, Tracy. Glad you're here. So let me stop talking. So let's talk to our speakers. Oh no, where's April? Oh, we always lose April halfway through. April, come back. April, come back.
Oh.
What's April? No, we'll talk too long. I mean, that's why I should set up. Okay. I'll be more observant.
In the private chat, it said that she had a meeting that she had to run to. Thank you for coming.
Okay. I'm glad you saw that. So I didn't see that. So I'm glad you did. Eugene, welcome. Glad you're here.
South Africa.
Welcome. Glad you're here. Of course, and Trace says, lovely Angelica, miss you. No one cares about me. I mean,
miss you too, Tracy. It's good to see you, Tracy.
Let's take it in turns. My friends, if you want to join the studio, the link is in the comments on the event page. If you want the link, now put it on. Just send me. So put it in the chat here. Send me the link. I'll send you to your DM. Right. I'm trying to make it easy for you to join. We'd love to hear from more of you, of course. That includes you, Tracy, for sure. So, Ms. Angelica, you pick who you want to go first. I think Calm was here long before Zatabiloba, right?
Yeah, Calm was here, but I haven't seen Tobiloba. I just want to say, hey, Tobiloba. But Calm was here first, so I think we should go in order, right?
Tobiloba, go ahead. Thank you.
Good to see you again, Angelica. It's a long time ago. Have you been?
I know.
Have you been?
Excellent. How about you?
I'm okay. I'm alive. We're here yesterday. It was a banger yesterday, like the very wonderful moment with Mr. Annie yesterday. Well, it's a wonderful topic as well. I just feel like maybe people don't like to learn. Do you get? That's why they really bring people to their show. And just like you said earlier, Mr. Eni, there's nothing I could really learn from myself. There's nothing because I'm with myself all the time. I'm always listening to me. I know what I know that I know. But for me to add value, to know more, is when I listen to others. So if a show is going on and you tend to be the one talking all the time, you don't want to bring people to your place and everything like that. It simply means you don't want to learn. It simply means you see yourself as the best. Do you get? So I think that's one of the problem we have. At the same time, do you know that many people are non-approachable, especially when they have big numbers, when they have big following? You can hardly approach them because when you test them, they just try to snub you. I have experience with them. I think I have quite a low number as well. I think here on LinkedIn, I have more than 21,000 followers. So I'm not talking um from a low self-esteem somewhere or inferiority complex. I'm just talking from the experience I have in a general with people. It can be approached, and at the end of the day, when you eventually speak to them, you'll be like, yo, number doesn't mean that you're smart. Having a big number doesn't make you smart and all of those things. So it's one thing we need to understand, that when we bring other people to speak on our events, when we interact with people, definitely you're going to hear one or two things you've never heard before. That's one thing you need to know. You are going to hear one or two things you've never heard or nobody has said to you before. So it's very important that we approach this thing from the standpoint of, we want to learn, I want to become better. And the only way to be able to do that is when you listen to others, is when you try to talk to other people, you hear from their opinion. Just like yesterday, Samuel shared a whole lot. Mr. Eni did his own, Cam did his own. So many wonderful. And when David come on board as well, we learn. And one of the things is that when other people speak, it's inspiration to you. It inspires you to know what to say. because I've been on stage with so many people, even on a physical this thing. And I feel like when other people speak, it inspires you, it reminds you of what you want to speak as well, what you want to say. So we have to be able to approach this from, okay, I want to learn, and then you can never stop learning. So the only way to increase is when you continue to learn. Okay, I'm going to use my mic here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toby Loba. It's nice to hear how you really take an interest in what people have to say and you listen. And that's part of being on lives, because if we're on lives and we're doing all the talking, then we're not doing all the listening. And so it's important to have that two-way conversation going on to where you're really listening. And what I got from what you mentioned was that some people are not approachable. And I get it. I mean, if they got 1 million people, followers, it's kind of hard to talk to everybody in one day, right? You only have a certain amount of time. But it's important that when you are here on a live where you can reach out to a lot of people, to really make those people that reach out to you feel like they matter, that they're being heard too. So that's important. And thank you, Crystal, for your nice compliment to me. I'm glad that I did something to help with your confidence. If I could do anything to help anybody, I'm always going to be happy about that. And that's very kind of you to mention that and share your kind words. So, and Tobiloba, it's great to hear your comments as well, because that's what makes the show, these discussions, interesting, engaging. We want it to go both ways, and we want people to feel at home. So I think another thing, I'm just going to mention one thing about.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, no,
Hey.
Sam. Welcome, Sam. We'll see you.
I guess we'll let Sam talk.
No. Make your point. No, make your point, Miss Angelica. Say what you're gonna say. Sam will get his turn. Of course.
Okay. I think another thing that you're doing, Annie, is perfect, is that on these lives you invite a lot of people, so that's just not one person, because I think it makes it a lot more fun. Like we just have Sammy coming in, and he comes in with a kind hello. That's very welcoming, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when somebody comes in like that, it lightens up the whole atmosphere. So I think one of the things I can recommend people do on their lives is share company news, what's going on with their company, whether they're launching a product, and you do that constantly, Annie. When you talk about the books, you're going to have another book coming out, and it's a very smart thing to do. At the same time, then people learn where to go when they want to publish their books, right? So launching their product, business initiatives, and it just it creates a buzz. Like if there's a campaign that they're going to have, that always makes it interesting. And showcasing some things behind the scenes. I think I want to do that on my lives, is show the stories, but also add some video of what people do behind the scenes. So that's my take on it. Let's hear from Sammy.
I've been called Sammy since I was a child. Hi, everybody. I'm going to take Angelica's advice. So I'm going to do some of those things first. So number one, just an update on what we're doing. We're running a Labor Day sale this week to be on the platform at 50% off. We are a holistic medicine information portal that connects patients with providers. We offer custom pages, unique solutions, and we also book you events and podcasts. Take you behind the scenes is we're actually looking to do an event here with I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but we're looking to do an event And what I'd like to do in that event with any is I'd like to spotlight as many providers as possible, preferably about some kind of a theme. Um, I haven't talked to any about this. I'm kind of just spitballing, but I'm thinking the theme, given the past events he's done, will be something about either trauma healing or something to do with nutrition and how nutrition can apply to things besides your body. You know, how can nutrition help with the mind, body, spirit, for example? Again, just spitballing here. So if anybody's a nutritionist, dietitian, health coach, or any type of practitioner in the holistic health space, you have to add me on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I ran out of connections, but you can connect with me. I've commented in this chat, so you can easily find me, and I'll comment again, no problem. But yeah, we'd love to have you. And then finally, I'll answer the question. So, what makes the audience share? So, I think really there's three things that make the audience share. I think number one, what makes the audience share is once you did something that affects their that affects multiple senses, right? That's something that makes the audience share. When you have a, so Prue Butterworth said, "How do I connect?" So I will comment right now so that you can find me. But anyway, yeah, I think when you do something that addresses the senses, I think that's something that goes a long way, right? Is when you are trying to get them to think deeper or to get them to apply it to their personal life. I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make, is that we don't do a good enough job at applying it to your everyday life. So I just commented, hey, so that you can add me. But anyway, yeah, I think that a lot of times we're selfish, where we don't do a good enough job at how do I get the audience to care? How do I get Crystal Behe to care what I'm saying? How do I get Roxana to care? How do I get Prue to care and Crystal to care?
Crystal Bay. Sorry, that's the one thing I'm bad on. It's Bay.
No, that's me. That's me. Because if you said Salgado, I would be offended too. So I totally get it. Crystal Bay, how do I get them to care? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a mistake we make, is we do too much at talking about us and not how to get the actual audience to care, right? Attention spans are dropping. So it's like, as attention spans drop, we have to do things to get someone to actually want to stay on the live call for 40 plus minutes. And sometimes it's just giving them a space to talk. If it was just me and Annie talking for 50 minutes, they probably wouldn't want to stay. But if, Annie's done a good job at saying, okay, Samuel, because I as you can see, I can talk your butt off, it's like, okay, Samuel, that's enough. Let's move on to the next person, so that people feel like they're involved. A lot of times I feel like that's a mistake that business owners make, is they don't do a good enough job at getting their target market to feel special, to feel involved. For practitioners, it's easy. You have an ailment, we can fix your ailment. That's easy. But for something like my project or what I'm doing, it's a little bit more unique, where I have to get you to, number one, trust me, because there's a million marketers out there. That's why I don't like to brand myself as marketing. There's a million people that are going to sell you something. So it's like, how do I get you to trust me, to trust my expertise and trust? And the reality is, I know nothing. The wise man knows nothing, right? So I don't know anything about holistic medicine. It's that I showcase you. I repeat what you say, right? And that's how, I know that it works. So to answer the next question is, how can we get more speakers? It's by sharing that, hey, we want to showcase you. It's not about showcasing me. It's not about showcasing Annie or anyone else on the call. It's about showcasing you. And I think Annie does a great job at that. And I'm trying to be better in my own messaging and everything about showcasing you guys, because you guys are really the stars.
I have to agree with Samuel on that one, honestly. Like, I've gone to my friends' lives on YouTube and really appreciated what their speakers are saying and things like that, and had went to their channels and subscribed to them and sent them messages, hey, would you like to collaborate, and opening that door, because when you see somebody like how I met Angelica, or I met Annie through an audio room, and so on and so forth, we make these connections because we hear them, we see them through somebody else, and we think, hey, I like what they're saying, maybe we can collaborate, we can do a live, we can talk about, I've got the Trauma Bond series that I'm going to try and restart, because now my work schedule is actually balanced out, and wanting speakers for that. So it's like, I go to my friends on LinkedIn, I go to my different communities, and I, put that out there. It's like, I want to hear from you, your experiences with different trauma bonds, or your experiences with this, or, let's get that conversation going. So you're right. I want to feature your story. I want to hear what you have to say. I want your feedback. What can I do better within my business or within my stream to make everything going? And hey, brother Chris, most of our LinkedIn people know Chris Monostrong. He's actually joining us on my YouTube channel this morning. So, but like I said, it's like, you post that live, I just streamed it. Normally we try to promote and everything, but we've had 5 different people join us on my channel just because they saw that I was live. And some of these people will connect with Annie or Samuel, and, and Angelica, and come over to LinkedIn that they normally wouldn't have, by hearing these conversations and wanting to join in. So I completely agree with you on that, Sam.
All great points. Thanks a lot, Crystal and Samuel. I really enjoyed, and I noticed that April asked me a question, and I don't want to ignore her question. I just realized that she asked about the films that I'm making, whether they utilize AI and 2D. I have been using AI, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think a lot of us are doing that. And on that note, go ahead.
That's
my
what AI
friend.
is good for. That's what AI is good for. Creating images I can't create otherwise, like design. Making videos of people flying in the air doing remarkable things that no human can ever do, right? Unbelievable. But now we can create them easily, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They might have 3 legs, so they might have 6 fingers. Things might fly in the air randomly. So that's AI for you, right?
They're getting better, though. I'm going to tell you. I've noticed that it's just getting better and better. But it's really something that's on that note. Whenever we are on these live streams, it's whenever we bring something educational up to the fore, it's also something that makes people want to come to your live. They're interested. AI is a big thing right now. And so they have questions. And if you have a guest that is an AI person, like Jonathan Green, then people come up to the stage and they ask questions, and very useful answers, I'll tell you. So, but I love what Crystal mentioned and what Samuel mentioned as well as Tobilova. It's really important to listen to what people say, and what Samuel mentioned as well about that everybody is a star. Everybody out there is a star, and it reminds me of a conversation I had with Pepe Serna, who said, I mentioned that I was an extra or something in a show, and then he said, you know what? You're never an extra. Everybody's a star. And I thought that's a very nice thing to say. He thinks he's an actor. He came out in Scarface, but when you look at everybody as a star, as a celebrity, you're going to give them that. You put them up on a pedestal and you give them that extra importance, right? So totally agree with what Crystal and Samuel are saying.
Yeah.
I'm starstruck.
I'm
You know
getting
that?
ready to head out because I got to go and make some more movies with the kids.
And I have to finish my pineapple upside down cake for my father-in-law. But it was lovely seeing you guys. It's his birthday today. It's his favorite cake. So.
Oh, you got to send me the recipe, Crystal.
Whoa. Absolutely, I can do that. I love you. I love you.
Love
you
you.
look beautiful, Angelica.
Your birthday's when?
On Friday,
today.
the 5th.
Friday.
Oh, really?
Oh,
My
Happy
best
birthday.
friend's birthday is today, the 3rd. Actually, I got to text him. Just remind me.
yeah. Call him.
It's the 3rd, right? Today's the 3rd?
Angelica,
Yeah,
before you go, can I say something to you? I came here just for you.
Of
I
course.
saw you were on, and then I saw Annie almost every day, other than Thursday when you took the day off. And yeah, I support Annie 100%. But you know, I don't get to see you often. Finally, I saw you and catch you real time live on your events. I'm just here to let you know that I miss your games. So back in the audio days, we love the games that you play with us. The improvise.
I gotta bring that. I gotta bring it back.
Yes, please do that. Either audio or video, you know, anything, weekends or weekday nights, whatever works for you. I really miss it a lot. Yes, and why I'm here as an audience to join, to share, to discuss, because I'm here for Annie. I'm here for Angelica mainly. Okay, there are also come and you know we talk a lot back and forth, but why I think mainly is the online persona, your personality. You know, you have that attractiveness. You know, I'm attracted. That's why I'm here. I like to share, and I like to be here listening to you guys. And another thing is, like Samuel and Crystal shared about, you know, having other people talk, encourage, include them into this discussion. That's very important because everybody has a voice. You know, some might be soft, some might be stronger, but it doesn't matter. Once you open up your platform, you offer the opportunity, people will come sooner or later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. You made my day. Now you got another project for me to do. The games. The games. But I'm looking forward to it now that you told me that. See, that this is why having these conversations are important, because then we find out what people really want to see. And we, you know, like that song says, you got to give the people what they want. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. And it's so good to see you, Tracy. I miss you too. I miss everybody. And I'm glad that I made a new friend. I got a new friend, Samuel.
You got many new friends. You know, I think
I gotta go though.
Miss you. Now, look, have yourself a good day, Miss Angelica. Now,
okay, love you guys. Mwah.
One last thing before you leave. I didn't know who the OJs were, so thank you for putting me on.
Now you know Miss Angelica is definitely one of those for sure, right?
Give the people what they want.
The OJs.
Connect with them, sure.
I thought you were talking about the OGs, the original gangsters.
That's you, Miss Angelica. That's you, right?
You guys.
Right, Miss Angelica. And the next time we see you, you're gonna play your video, right? Your cartoon video.
Yes, that'd be great.
You take care.
Guys.
Enjoy your day. Let me welcome a few more people. You know, Jay, welcome, Jay. So I love your comment before that, Jay. So when the audience speak or share their story, they bring imagination and inspiration. I agree. That's what Sam was saying, right? You know, you're talking about opportunities. Now, I think emphasizing those opportunities, as Tracy did, as Sam did, you know, Krista did as well, right? Like, it's a mutual benefit thing. You know, you want to, and in these events, you being here makes a difference to us, to everyone, right? But I think when you join the stage and share, people actually see you. You know, those in the audience and your comments, you know, they can be helpful. Don't get me wrong. But when you join the studio, people when they can see you, now people can suddenly know, like, and trust you. That's why, you know, I think it's important for everyone. If you can speak at an event, take your chance. You know, I say that knowing that I'm still, as Crystal said, you know, as hosts, I don't want to dominate someone's event. I want to let them shine, right? And let others shine. So I'll just sit there quietly and learn and encourage and support as best I can. You know, I don't know how you pronounce your name. Bakhtar. Let me leave it there, right? Thank you for joining us. You know, Miss Angelica's comments does matter, of course, and great comments as well. Chris, welcome. I haven't seen you for a while, Chris. The AI is a tool, my friend, and it's a tool. And I said I could easily try and create, and I put together a video production team for my clients' posts. What's the point of that? The AI, I can create videos that some people don't even know it's AI. They know it's AI. My son tells me all the time, I hate AI. I can see it. I'm saying we can all see it, but it's a message, right? It's a message that counts. So welcome, Chris. Dr. Roxana, I see you as well. Welcome. This is my super author, my co-author, event host herself. So everyone do connect, connect with each other. So, and I might say my great ambition is for everyone to support each other. So I want you to go to each other's events. Go to other people's events. Don't just come to mine. Of course, I love you coming to my events, but go to other events. You make more friends. More people get to see you. Your network gets bigger. And everything that good flows from there. Go on, Sam. You're thinking. Sam, you almost spoke. Okay, you're fine. Okay, excellent. Look, so many things have been said. You said many things today, my friends. So part of me is thinking, I don't know. Many events are structured. I like it. I like structured events. I like to have a topic. I haven't set 3 questions for every event. I know where I want to go with the conversation, right? But I did a show last week. Who was it with? Christiana. And basically she said it's a check-in. No topic. You don't talk about my topic. Let's talk about how you're doing today. Let me tell you, my friends, I hate those events. As an idea, I hate them. But it was fun. It was probably the first event I've done with no agenda, no structure, no conversation, intention, just literally let it be. And it was fun. There's people join the studio to share. But we can always do with more. So this is another point I want to make. I think don't underestimate the work I do to get people onto my stage and to my events. I do a lot of when all of you here receive my DM saying, "Come and speak." Right? I'm saying not many people do that. So that is one thing I think will definitely help. I'm not, I don't always pick my friends, but I do start with my WhatsApp friends because it's easier. I go to WhatsApp and just DM everyone and say, "I come and speak." Many don't, but you always do, right? So create a list of people who you want to, your friends, and invite them. If you don't invite them, how would they know your show is on? You might think they know, but they don't. They're busy. They're asleep. Invite them. Make an effort to actually invite them. Make them feel special, like you've all mentioned today, right? Make them realize that you want to elevate them, and they will benefit as much as you do, having them come and speak with you. I think there was something Tracy said as well. Yeah, I guess in terms of making sure that people come and talk to you. I remember it in a minute. I had it, and it left my brain. Literally, I spoke and it left my brain. I don't know how that happens, but that's life, right? I agree with Samuel. It's always about the audience. It really is. It really, really is. Okay. Now, let me leave it for now. Look, Joni, welcome. I see you. Before I come to you,
thank you.
Look, permit me to play a video quick. I say now, some of my shows are paid for by my co-hosts, right? Other shows, no one pays because it's me doing what I want to do to bring my LinkedIn family together. I do that for a reason. I like to keep my friends close, right? So my sponsors pay the bill for these events. So let me play. So I got a couple of sponsors. Let me play the video. So it's a minute and a half long each. So bear with me, my friends. And of course, what's the word I'm looking at? There's a word for it, right? Go to my sponsors' links and connect with them, engage with my sponsors. So that's the reason why they pay me to show them in our events, right?
My name is Donna Martin, and for those of you that might not be familiar with me yet, I am CEO of the Good Life Approach, and what I do is help people best to thrive in those micro moments, in those real-time moments when life happens and takes over. So this video is about me introducing you a bit to me and to what I've created in terms of the Daily Reset. This is burnout prevention course for busy individuals. Doesn't matter your profession, doesn't matter where you've come from, doesn't matter about your background, your knowledge, your skill set, any of that. What matters is where you are and where you are choosing to be. If you're somebody that is consistently coming up against it and allowing your external outer world to dictate your results, the daily reset will support you in bringing you back to your present moment and deciding intentionally how you choose to reset so that the impact of whatever's going on doesn't continue to impact your day. That's the power of mind shifting. That's the power of self-awareness. And that is the power of understanding who you are, how you operate in terms of your physical body function, your mechanical mind, and the spiritual soul side of you. This isn't magic, it's intentional manifesting. And those daily resets, those wins, those successes that you choose to create for your own version of the good life all start with simple, easy, go-to tools that are all packed inside the daily reset. Feel free, if this calls you, to check it out.
All right, my son is talking to me as I'm coming back on the show. Look, now, I said Donna Reese is the greatest mindset coach there ever has been. You know, she's changed my life, my business, literally from when I started working with her. You know, many of you will know she was my co-host on my Wednesday room. You know, but she's a true legend. You know, she's, you know, if you want to change your life, change everything around, you know, even your business, I'm saying, you know, talk to her. You know, check out her link and see, you know, what she offers, and her course, you know, is on, you know, a course platform. So, you know, it's reasonably priced. That's why I'll say it, right. You know, working with her one-to-one is a different conversation. But even then, she has packages that I'm sure could benefit everyone. Anyway, thank you so much for gracing me. You know, I don't know whether these sponsors' messages will become like adverts where everyone goes can make a cup of tea. Once we put it on, I don't know. Time will tell, right? You know, when the sponsors.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course you can.
When are you going to change the background? I'm a little bit tired of that.
Tracy, what's on the background, Tracy? What do you
see?
No,
your background, the things we learned from COVID-19. We are in 2025. Any?
This it's not 2019. It's from COVID-19.
I know. I feel like it's far away. You know, where are you?
Last year, right, Tracy? I'm glad you raised the point. Look, my friend, I want you to scan the QR code and buy the book. It's there. Scan the QR code, buy the book. Yes.
After you see the book, we will have a new background, right?
It would change. No, when many more buy the book, then I'll change it. When my next book comes out, I'll change the background. Until then, no. Sorry about that, people. I'm not really sorry.
You're getting a copy from me today, for sure.
You know what's interesting, Tracy? I spoke to a man this morning. There's a new client, you know, and he's written books about COVID. I'm like, the coincidence of it all. Who would have ever guessed? You know, so he's written books about, you know, how COVID affected kids in education and the solution to fix it. Because in his eyes, all the money the government spent to help kids to catch up on all that stuff was wasted. You know, so look, every day there's COVID stories in the news in the UK anyway. I'm saying COVID is not gone. So my book is still very relevant. If you haven't read it yet, my friends, QR codes, get your phone out, scan the QR code, my friends, and go buy the book on Amazon, right?
Go Annie, sell more books.
That's the idea, Tracy. I mentioned my Dr. Roxana, one of my co-authors. There's 10 of us, right? We need to sell more books. Yeah,
I love your consistency, Annie. You are very consistent.
I'm a marketer. What do you expect? I'm a marketer, right? And I can't be shy about marketing today. And neither should you be. I think, as Sam said earlier, and I think someone else said it too. Tell us what you do. Don't be shy. Tell us what you do before you share. Tell us what you do. Maybe you want to tell us what you do after you share. Because people's minds are focused and they think, oh, I love Tracy. I wonder what she does. Then don't be shy about telling them. A lot of people do it. A lot of people share their service, their solution in a hurry. No, take your time. Tell them what you do properly. They don't get it. What could be worse than people coming to our rooms with a problem and leaving our room to the same problem? I think that's a tragedy. So take your time and tell them what you do. Really, don't be shy at all. Sam, I'm coming to you, Sam.
Yeah,
I've got a room tomorrow with Dr. Phil. I don't know whether you've seen the flyer. Probably not yet.
Dr. Phil, look at you, Annie, big time over here.
I don't know whether it's but he's Dr. Phil.
He had Dr. Phil on his call, man. Look at Annie, he's big time.
He's a functional medicine doctor. I know he's right up your street for your platform.
I do got a couple meetings tomorrow, but I'll try to make it for sure.
It's about this time. I think about this time that we're doing an hour and a half. I always do.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to make it. But I was thinking, since you have a book, I'm willing to let you on the platform, no charge.
Excellent. I'll take it. Hopefully you get seen, right?
And we'll add your book to the platform, just to create that alignment. But yeah, I love what you said about, being slow about what you do, because what I do, it's very unique, and it is long to explain, and it's taken me a while to, and that's the other thing too, everyone, before I touch on myself, that Andy said is valuable, is take your time. Don't rush the explanation, because at the end of the day, if you're doing something that's unique, you want to let it be known how unique what you're doing is. And even like the lady that was in here before, I think her name was Crystal, when she talked about how we're all stars. You can have 5 marketers in here, for example, right? And if anyone's familiar with BNI, I know Annie is as well, is that this, correct me if I'm wrong, Annie, but this is not like BNI where if there's, one dietitian in here like Lisa, all the other dietitians have to go. It's like, no. With me, yeah, I do marketing, but the marketing is for holistic and functional medicine doctors and providers. It's not just marketing for everybody. Annie does events. There's probably 6, 7, 10 other people that do events, but they don't do it the same way that he does it. So take your time in explaining what you are, because if you don't, people are just going to put you in a box anyway. They're going to say, oh, Samuel, okay, that's cool. You do marketing. No, we don't do marketing. We just understand that marketing is a subset of what's important in getting you more clients, because typically marketing comes with that. But we have providers on the platform that we don't do marketing for at all. We just want more people. We want people to find healing. And I believe in this. I think other people in this chat believe that the body has an immense regenerative potential to heal itself. And traditional medicine, really across the world, has not done a good job in helping people heal. And holistic modalities, whether it's applied kinesiology, whether it's dietitian with someone like Lisa, whether it's a type of health coaching, whether it's nutrition, whether it's a hypnotherapist, those things can help you with your individual ailments and have shown real success. The merlingroupworld.com/naturopathy, it showcases a lady that has a multiplicity of diseases, pyrrole disease, 20 years of antibiotic misuse, and so much. But after utilizing naturopathy and a unique holistic approach, she was able to find healing. And that's not just for health, that's for everything. You have to take a unique approach because everyone is different. So even if you're doing a marketing call or a sales call or a client call, if you're a provider, you have to approach everyone differently. You cannot approach everyone like they're standard. The way I talk to Lisa and the way I talk to Prue is going to be very different, right? Or the way I talk to Crystal. So that's something that you really want to understand is in your approach, make it unique. And then also what we do is we structure everything around conversion. We don't care if you get a lot of views. Annie even touched on it here. It's like what matters is the sponsors. Doesn't matter how many views he has. Doesn't matter how many people are in his chat. What matters is that people are paying him and he's getting sponsors, and it's growing. I like to say this saying, I don't know who came up with it, but your first everything typically sucks. Your first show is not going to be great. Your first stream is probably not going to be great. The first time I did marketing wasn't great. The first time you do a sales call probably won't be great. Lisa being a dietitian, the first time she had a client might not have been the best, but over time it gets better. You just have to stay consistent, like I said the other day. So, what we do is we structure everything for conversion. People want to know your personality. Put more video on your website. That's a mistake that so many people make, is that if SEO is dying, why are you going to have a standard traditional website? And this is across the board. It doesn't matter if you're a cameraman like Gregory Welcome or Lisa or anybody else. If you are making something, they want to see your personality. They don't just want to see a templated basic website with, AI images. Like Annie said, a lot of people know the things are AI these days. AI is good, but you don't want to just make it like, oh yeah, my website is 100% AI. All the images are AI. All the content is standard and templated. No. You want to really take your time with, okay, if I'm in Tampa and I'm a nutritionist, well, then I want to throw the word Tampa in there as much as possible. If I'm a dietitian, wherever Lisa is, I want to put, city dietitian, state dietitian, and not only that with the video as well, but you want to use platforms like this. Don't drive traffic to your homepage. People, their attention spans are too low. They're going to click off. Drive traffic to your booking page. Drive traffic to maybe their ailment. Drive traffic to your calendar link. Kill the or kill's a bad word. I'm sorry, algorithm. Mitigate any chance that the end user will not click on the website or take action on your website or on your social media. Use and teach. That's the other thing, is teach and give more free stuff than you think. Alex Hormozy, who is a guy that probably a lot of you guys have heard of, he gives everything away for free, and he's a multi-millionaire. Annie even said that he does events for free. You don't do 100% events for free, because you're not Walmart. You can't do economies of scale, but do some things for free where you teach so people can see, okay, this person's an expert. Like, for example, I posted in the chat a video I made teaching people how to use AI. I'm not going to charge you how to use AI. If you see value from it, you'll come to me anyway. People go to Annie and stay and continually go to his shows because they see value. So that would be the next step. And then finally, what we do is we provide showcase interviews. Because again, similarly to this, I've connected with a couple people on here that I never would have done if I did a networking call or if I would have just added you on LinkedIn. You now see, okay, I trust Sam. I like Sam. I like some of the stuff Sam is saying. So doing interviews and events and podcasts show your personality. It shows, hey, this person is not just trying to sell me. This person is actually passionate about X, Y, and Z. They actually care. So, that's a breakdown of not only what I do, but how you can do it for yourself. Because at the end of the day, not everyone in here is a provider. Not everyone in here is going to buy my product. But everybody in here might be an entrepreneur. They might be trying to start a business. Maybe they have a job and they're trying to get a raise, or they're trying to grow in their company, or maybe they want to be any and they want to do events themselves. Whatever it is, everything I'm telling you can apply. Show your personality in video, because video is the way to go. And that's the mistake, because the reality is that Gen Z and millennial have money. You might not think they do, but they do. And they want to see that you have personality. They don't want to just be sold to. They don't just want to see an advertisement. They want to see, okay, this person has expertise. This person can help me. Most importantly, this person is not just someone trying to sell me. They actually are passionate about X, Y, and Z. So, definitely he does. But finally, as far as what we do is not only do we do the showcase interviews, but we also create custom pages, because maybe you don't have a website. So, we can optimize your own website. We can also build you a custom page where you can send out that custom page to everybody to find you, to have people come to you. And then we do the telehealth so that people can just find you directly, get your expertise, and find you all in one website. So that's a little bit about me and what I do, but most importantly, that's how you can do it for yourself. Because again, Gregory, the camera guy, let's just say hypothetically he's an editor, right? Or he shoots video. Well, Crystal makes movies. So if he, networks in here and says, hey, I do da-da-da-da, Crystal might have seen that when she was here and said, wow, I need a cameraman, or Lisa. Lisa's a dietitian. There's a million types of dietitians, but maybe she works with dietetics for children or dietetics for people that have diabetes, or, she does dietetics for weight loss or ADHD or whatever it is. She can post her expertise in these group chats or even in video or in the live about how she helps people, right? And you want to do it in a way in which you provide as much value as possible. And that's really your best bet on how to really scale and really grow.
So I agree with everything you say there, my friend. Lisa's connected with you, by the way. So she followed you. Following it helps, my friend. You actually need to connect and have a conversation, right?
Yes.
I'll come to you in a second. I think Sam's making a point, which is educate people. Showcase your skills, showcase what you do. Don't forget these events. Now that on audio, you went to LinkedIn only. These events, because they're streamed, they go to they go to Facebook. Mine go to LinkedIn. Mine go to YouTube. Chris's YouTube is here as well. That's hundreds of views that the people are going to see you who are not necessarily here. Now, take your chance to market, my friends. And yes, do come to me to sponsor that, to be a sponsor. I'll show you a video quite happily, right? I'm saying you have to create a video that explains your service, your offer in a way people will understand, right? And let's start learning how to do that properly. A lot of people don't know how to do such things, right? They can't tell you what they do really well. I'm saying we need to get better. Crystal, Lawless, and I loves you. Love and happiness to you, Crystal. But all Crystal's friends love Crystal. That's amazing thing, right? Is that Crystal herself? No, another one. Love you, Crystal. Always remember you're beautiful and valued. So thank you for being here, my friends. Who's Gregory? Gregory, I see you as well. Gregory, the cameraman. Glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, Lisa does her own events. I think we're back again on your Metamorphosis room on the 16th. So do join us for that. But Lisa will not come on talk on anyone's stage unless she's a guest, unless it's a special guest interview. Lisa, you're gonna start coming on our stages, Lisa. I've been saying this for the last 2 years. But it's someone like Lisa I'm trying to convert to become a speaker, a regular speaker. But let me stop talking. Tabaloba, please share quick. I'll come to you, Joni. Give me 1 minute. Tabaloba, the mic is yours, my friend. Oh, have we lost you? No, you're still there, right?
Anyways, so you shared something very, very fun, like something very. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, just about. We can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. Just trying to build on the point that Samuel has made so far. It's like we've got something you need to give to people, right? You let me know that this is what you've got to give to people, and the value you bring to the table needs to be, communicated in such a way that people understand. And then we were basically talking about unique mechanism. That's one of the things in marketing that we all need to know. Being a copywriter for about 3 years now, make me to understand one thing, that the moment you're trying to sell to everybody, you are selling to nobody, right? So everybody is definitely not your customer. So what I'm going to say in this thing is that whether you give something for free or you do not give for free, you still have to make sure that you have the right audience. So you see someone that will be like, okay, this is not for me. And then you want to be able to talk about the pain point and it make people understand that you know what their problem is. I've been able to present your product or service as the solution to the problem going on in their life or going on in their business. So on the other hand, make sure that whatever you are giving is solving a problem for a particular set of people, because you are not for everybody. And that's one thing we all need to understand. Yes, I know some businesses can be useful for almost everyone, but you hardly find a business that is for all of the people around the world. So be able to narrow down your niche, let people know that these are the people you help. You are into marketing, Annie is into marketing, mostly into consumer extension and kind of marketing stuff, but everything has to just be communicated differently. You could be doing the same thing, but not in the same way. Mr. Ernie has really been a great blessing to any one of us. I would just recommend him all the time if you want to do any event, because he has been there all this while. We are here, we've been here. I think this October is going to make it 3 years. We've been coming back and forth here on LinkedIn that I've met Mr. Ernie. October. So that's 3 years, a long time ago. All right, 3 years is a long time ago. That's almost a thousand. I think it's even more than 1,000 days, more than 1,000 days. That's probably been seen face to face, been talking, been engaging. So you want to be in the front of your customer, of your ideal customer for a longer time too. Just be in their front. My book talks more about this. My book talks about this. Like, you want to be there forever. You just want to be there. Want them to know you. They want to trust you more than just every other person. Don't just come and vanish. And after 1 month, you're coming back. Do you miss me? No, we don't miss you. I can never miss you. You were never consistent. So we don't miss you. So you have to just be there. It's not every time we find it easy to be here. It's not every time Mr. Any find it to be online and everything like that. We just know that we have to be consistent. This is who we've come to help, and we need to be there helping others. And that's one thing you need to understand. Build that trust, build this thing, and then you will not really struggle with other competitors, and it should be lovely. You could get your hand on my books. Maybe you just drop interested in the comment. I'll just share. I'm more than happy to share. It's going to be out very soon, but I'll have Mr. Any go through it. I have some of my great friends in the States go through it and see what I put there. It's going to help others. We talk about it, but definitely it's not everything that is going to be for free for everybody listening to me. There are things you need to pay for, because if you don't pay for it, you basically may not see the value. It means it's not everything that is free. It's not everything that you say that I'm going to give to you for free, because number one, my time is involved, my knowledge is involved. If you need it, you wouldn't have gotten it. So something that people pay to get, sometimes they tend to cherish more than what they don't pay to get. So you should know that we have different kind of people in the world that take things for granted. So when you're coming to grow your business, know that there's a price to pay. Maybe your time, your money, there's always a price. Nothing goes for nothing. There's nothing for free. So you need to understand that. All right. I'm going to use my mic, and another wonderful show today, Mr. Eni. Thank you so much. Good to see you again, Sam.
No, thank you. Look, you and Sam are speaking facts. We need to work our target audience, and we need to speak their language. Even though I do marketing, of course we're not all the same. We're all very different, And also, it's the same with your shows, my friends. Not all shows are the same. Now, Lisa's show is a special kind of show. It's different to everything else, every other show that I do, right? And there's different ways that we can make our shows different and to encourage the audience to come and speak. So I think, it's worth bearing in mind how you brand yourself does matter. Of course it matters. You don't hear me say I do marketing. Hear me say I make you famous. It's marketing by any other term, right? Other times I'm doing posts, creating those dodgy AI videos as we do. Sam, let's talk about websites and the death of websites. Let's put a nail in the coffin, right? Let's do that. I want one of your shows. I think let's do that for sure, right?
Yeah.
Jay, don't encourage. I see, the greatest mindset coach in the world, Dr. Leslie Flowers is here. Welcome here again. She has events 3 times a week, so do go along. If you want to learn mindset, the principles as they really apply. dude, I definitely talk to her. I met someone yesterday who's in their 80s, and I'm like, he's like, I've been doing mindset for 60 years. I'm like, I'm not even 60 yet. You know, Dr. Leslie has the same level of experience. She probably knows more than he does. So definitely one worth connecting with. Like, my friends, you know, when I started these shows, God, no, I got to have 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago now. I made a business to acknowledge everyone that comes in my room. I tell you what they do. If I know them, if I don't know them, I just tell you that they're here, right? You know, the reason I do that is because we appreciate you being in our audience. We appreciate you more when you're on stage. Dr. Leslie goes the extra mile and really acknowledges everyone in her room. So, you know, it's definitely worth going to. You know, so I think most people just want to be seen and heard, acknowledged. Now, if you don't welcome them, then they feel like, you know, no, maybe no one saw me today, right? Yeah. But we see you, my friends. We do see you, right? You know, we see you, and we appreciate you for the time that you give us, for sure. Jay, don't encourage Lisa. She just gets worse, right? Me writing a children's book, I have, not mine. I published one by that author over there. This one here, this one called, you know, The Amazing Woman Herself, and a dinosaur book, and other other books that she does as well, right? You know, Lisa, there's no other book coming along. No, there's no book. I don't know, not in a hurry. Why is that, Lisa? Well, let me explain briefly. So, you know, I published another book this morning for another author. He wants to launch a book in the next 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, I have to do 2 events before the launch event. I'm saying, think of that, Lisa. My days, you know. And then today, I just came off a call with an author in the US. Again, he's in his 80s. So the one who wrote the COVID Solutions for Schools book, right? You know, he wants to publish 50 books. I'm saying, you have to pay me a year's wages as a company. You know, because I've been publishing these books every day, right? Literally for the next year. When I get a chance, Lisa, I'll write another book. I've got several started. I just can't focus on them because I'm writing out every, you know. So the difference between now and last year is I'm writing books for authors as well. So I'm writing books, publishing books, and doing the best of it, doing all the things we do. It just gets more and more. But thank goodness, God keep giving me more, give me more, give me more, because it has my bank account. You know, that's I love life like that, right? I can't complain. But the next book will come sometime, Lisa. I don't know when, right? I think I see you, Annie. I say I'll come to you in a minute, right? Lisa says yes. Okay, well, connect then. But you got to send him an invite, a connection invite, Lisa, because Sam's run out of invites. I don't know how that happens, but if anyone has any trouble connecting with anyone,
go all out every Sunday and send them all out. That's
right. Okay. So you know, you might get your allocation back next week that you can actually use. This is what you're saying, right? LinkedIn weeks, my friend. LinkedIn weeks matter, right? You know, if you have any trouble connecting with anyone in my events, DM me. I'll connect you to in a group chat. That's the best thing I can do. So that makes connection much easier, right? So I hear you. I've talked enough. So let me work on Queen as well. So Queen Manic. Okay, 420. I love your YouTube names. Thank you for joining us. So I appreciate you, madam. Joni, how are you today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm glad I was able to pop on. Like this 3 weeks of my life has been just crazy. So, as some of you guys know, I'm selling my home and building a new home, and it is a process. It is a freaking process. So, I appreciate the little time I get to come on and say hello to my good brother from another mother. And I was thinking, when a lot of people say that they know Annie, and I think it's because he's kind of like just polite, and he's very British, and just easy to, connect with. So I certainly, Annie was one of my first connections on LinkedIn a few years ago. And I think I continue to make him laugh. So we're buddies. And so I like to support anyone in the time I have. So my name is Joni or Joe, and I own a small construction company. We do mostly residential painting, and now we've expanded into modular home design, which is something that I think is going to be really great for a lot of people because housing is a really big problem for a lot of people because it's so expensive. And you can get a modular home for relatively inexpensive. There's a lot of land out there that's for sale that you don't have to clear. And so it's just like a good solution to making people feel empowered, because when you own a home and you own a little plot of land, I think that it serves your self-esteem more than a lot of things. Though I do a lot of other things too because I'm a little ADD and I raise golden retrievers. I write books. I do technical writing. I do tutoring for high school to learn about ACT and SAT here, their exams.
Wow.
I do a lot. I like any way to just like we gotta get that money. So but I have different graduate degrees that aid me in that, and I have the willpower to just like knock one thing out after another. And sometimes I recognize like I am taking on too much. And so there's that's something I'm working on in therapy, like taking time for me, like knowing me. But anyways, I really I was interested in the AI comment because I recently just uploaded some lyrics that I wrote and some beats, and this AI program came back with the most amazing song, and I could share it with you guys. But it's I guess some of you guys know Aaron Gibson, and he does it, and I was like, I just gonna try this out. It was so much fun, and it is mind blowing, the power of AI. So, and that's kind of part of the process of building a modular home. I mean, yes, people can choose a traditional architect, but you can get architectural plans through AI. Yeah. You of course have to like go through your village or township or whatever to get them approved, but it's not the same as it once was. And so I'm very much one who likes to keep up with the technology, even though sometimes I'm not the best at it. And so yeah, so that's my comment. I'm sure I'll have more comments the more people share.
By the way, if you do tutoring in the New York area, I have a little cousin that I think she's doing fine, but just in case.
I could do Zoom tutoring.
My whole family,
no.
they gotta get all A's. So if they're not getting all A's,
Chicago, I do. Yeah, I do everything.
You tutor college kids too? I got a couple freshmen as well that
I do Zoom tutoring, but my main focus is on trying to get them into college. Okay. But then, like, I do for a friend of mine, her little girl and boy is second grade in preschool, and they have like speech impediments, and so we go through that, and we're silly and like go out in nature and collect things, and then they have to write the names of them and tell a story to me about them. And so yeah, I love children and dogs like way more than humans. So adult humans.
we got to get them in science. That's the problem I'm noticing with them.
But they are so technological. They adapt way more than any of our generations. I mean, my son's like, Mom, you just are learning about Sanyo. Like, what? That's the oldest person thing you've ever said.
I don't even know what that is, and I'm 28.
Yeah,
it's a strong building. It's like a Beats website.
Yes, that's how you pronounce it. No, look, Joni, I've known you for so
I just
long.
watch YouTube.
So I said, I didn't know you did half these things. None of us did, right? This is one of the reasons.
I mean, I stopped at the homeless shelter that I volunteer at yesterday, and they're like, "We haven't seen you in so many weeks. Like, where have you been?" I'm like, "I'm so sorry." Like, because I'm allowed to. I've been there a long time, and so I do intake for homeless people in our community. And gosh, this girl was from Nigeria. She's dressed like Nubian queen. I was like, something's going on upstairs, and just like full crown and like a lot of facial piercings. And I just like, girl, you look so pretty. You look so pretty. And then she kind of like smiled and like opened up a little to me about her situation. So I think for me, I love all those different experiences. Like, I don't want to be defined as one thing. But yes, I do a lot of different things to make a buck, and I do things to just complement my own happiness. So.
No, you haven't mentioned your 2 books. So you do things to entertain.
And I do. That's part of my creativity. Yes, I have 2 books, and it just filled me with joy writing the book about the 3 dinosaurs who are sisters, and they're triceratops, and they go on silly adventures. And my idea in my head is hopefully that could be made into a series on YouTube or whatnot, like just something for kids. It's so benign, like they go on adventures, like going to their first day of school or encountering the Tyrannosaurus Rex, or saving a baby pteranodon. It's very it's interesting. It's a really good kindergarten type book. And then my next book is my memoir, and it's just painful because I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I'm scared about letting that out, and not a bad scared, but it's a lot of emotional stuff that I've gone through, and we're working on that next. So
you survived. That's a good.
I survived.
You're thriving, right? It's the darkest hour, it's just before dawn. That's what the book's called. The ebook isn't done. Rather you didn't buy the ebook yet. The Triceratops Sisters Anthology, as we called it in the end, is you can buy the print book of that on Amazon as well. So they are there.
I donate it to your local elementary school, and I will sign it. I will
read it myself.
I'll do all the. I'll do all the.
So I want to read it.
Voices like Robbie was mad.
Yeah.
And
Pat
was indignant.
Really
could work on YouTube. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
it's like
you got to make it animated though.
And I use AI pictures for that, and so, and my kids were immediately just like any son, Mom, are these AI? Are these AI? I'm like, yeah, they're AI. What do you think? I have all this time to actually draw.
I tell you, to be drawing dinosaur pictures in different settings. No, Amazon asked. I said no, it's not AI.
They know.
Amazon will never know, but they know. Of course, they know, right? Yeah. Dr. Leslie.
I'm 28.
So let's move on because our time is going, right? Dr. Leslie, I agree with you. See, now, this is what I forgot earlier on. I think Sam mentioned it, right? I don't know whatever. I'm sure it was Sam. Some hosts are just not nice people. I'm saying, look, when I was writing one of my books, I got stuck on the host's qualities. The qualities people need to host events. I'm saying super niceness, patience, Dr. Leslie, niceness, genuine friendship with your, with your audience, with your speakers, and that person who loves people and people love them back. It matters, right? That's what it takes to be a host. But there's so many things that you have to be that great, larger than life person. Again, Pam mentioned it earlier, where you can have many connections but no real friends. That's a strange place to be, right? I'm saying as hosts, those who can be lovely people will get more people on their stages. That's my personal thought. If anyone has a thought on that, feel free to tell me. Whether you agree or disagree. I don't say no. I can learn something from you, right? Patience is definitely one of those things. You have to give people space to be themselves. Understanding. I could carry on. There's many more things. But I think it's a whole body, nice person to be a host that succeeds and gets people to come and share what they want. That's my personal thought. We lost Calm again. I was going to go to him next. Look, I've got one more sponsor's message because I am involved in the event. So let me play that video now, and then we can wrap up unless there's more that people want to share, right? So you say, give me another minute or so, minute and a half, thereabouts. 1:57, I think. Okay, here it goes.
Are you ready? Ghana, are you listening? Are you confused about your purpose, feeling lost, weighed down by life, and tired of pretending everything is okay? Do you feel like depression is winning and running out of strength? Then I want to invite you to something that could change your life totally. The No Human is Useless Conference 2025. William Planch has been there.
He looked like he was fine, but inside, he was dying, jobless, mocked by friends, smiling on the outside while every night he battled the thought that maybe life had no more space for him. People looked down on him, whispered that he would never become anything, and when the pain grew too loud, he made a choice that would change everything. He left the city, hoping the forest would hide his tears. There, alone with his brokenness, he found something no one could take away: his purpose. From the shadows of depression, William Plange built a movement that has now touched lives across the world. A 9-time international bestseller, winner of the Caribbean Global Awards, a voice for the hopeless.
In that silence, he found peace, he found purpose, and he found power. Now he's back stronger, clearer, and ready to help you do same. Join us for the No Human is Useless Conference 2025. 25th September, Sunday, 2 p.m. sharp. Venue at the ICGC Zue Temple, Tema Community Park. This is not just another conference. This is your moment, your healing, your clarity, your comeback story. Because no matter what you have been through, no human is useless.
No human is useless, I know. Through the darkness.
There.
You know what the weirdest thing is, my friends, which I guess gives me joy, is that I'm on that flyer at the very front now. So it's just like, yes. Now, for shy, humble me, it's a weird thing to be, but it's going to be a great conference. I am practicing what I'm going to say. I'm still very rough, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to inspire kids, and this is the start of, I guess, my speaking journey, which I'm excited about. Annie, I'm sure it's Annie, because I know Annie's writing style. So being who you are is the best approach. So being authentic, real, honest, genuine, true. True. I say, otherwise, how can others be if you are not? We all have different coping mechanisms and thought processes. Keep it simple and not to the point. Because knowledge is shared. And knowledge shared is knowledge gained, right? Sharing each other's knowledge, you get far more value in learning from others. Also remember, respect is mutual, and have boundaries. The personal touch also shows you really care about the job and doing what the job you're doing and what service you're offering. Keep it real. I agree with you, Annie, my sister. Glad you're here. My friends, look, I think we shared a lot today, so I've got a lot of useful information that I will use. about how we can make these, how we can make these events more engaging. Again, not everyone's the same. Some people want to share. I'm just remembering back to the audio room days. It took a long time to get people to come and share. At the beginning, it was much like we're doing now on lives, where people are like, no one's coming to my shows, no one's coming to share. I'm saying in time, the numbers will grow again. We had a big shock in January, in December, when LinkedIn suddenly turned off audio and said, go live streams. Before that, it took 2.5 years for us to get used to audio, and suddenly people were piling in. It got to hundreds in our room at a time, quite easily. I'm saying, little audio was something different to what we have now. But I truly believe the numbers will grow. We have to keep consistent as hosts. Keep doing the right things. The right things has been said today so many times. Make real friends. Your friends will come and support you. Your friends will come and share. Make friends. Reach out to people. Don't rely on your event to fill itself. Don't allow people to come on stage random, by themselves. And I say, invite your friends. Invite those who can add value to our conversations. Every event I have, I choose who I invite. I choose who I invite to speakers. I'm saying that you can too. If you invite people to come and speak, if you make them realize that you want to hear from them, we want to hear from them. Your audience, right? They will come and talk. Of course, everything that everyone's mentioned, how you treat them does matter, right? Joni, you flash your mic. What's moved you?
Well, I really want to emphasize the fact that a lot of us who come to these groups are coming just in search of, I suppose, friendship, to have a voice, to learn a little bit, to not feel so lonely, which frankly is the silent killer. And so just know that you matter, and every single person who comes up on this stage is really unique and wonderful. I mean, I've listened to a lot of different events during times where my business was slow or whatever. And everyone has just some amazing gifts that you can internalize and appreciate. I mean, I know my friend Tracy, who was up here earlier, she is so smart. It's really, and she's shy too. So I'm proud of her for coming up on stage, and she was very shy like 2 years ago. So that's just an example. But I just want everyone to know that we're all real people. Yeah. I live in Naperville, Illinois, and my name is Joni Hargrave, and I do my best to support anyone with their goals. You did that session with the woman who had been trafficked, and I gave her information to the homeless intake center that I volunteer with. And so it's like real world stuff. And this is a great platform to just either engage with people or so you don't feel lonely, because it really is a horrible feeling. And also to get connected to people who don't think the way you think. And it's fantastic. And so.
Yeah. No, look, it's a two-way street, right? I agree with you. So, a lot of people on LinkedIn are lonely. No, they really are. And a lot of people really
are.
And again, when I say the host qualities, we have to be that bigger than life human, right? So we can make what we do as hosts makes people feel a certain way. Either they feel seen, they feel appreciated, they feel heard, right? That's what we can do, and that can change lives.
The worst thing is not to be seen.
Yes, and to be there but not seen, right? That is the worst thing.
That's why I stopped at Walgreens the other day, and there's a young Black girl sitting crying like on it, just like a ripped up suitcase, and I was like, yo, I looked at her in her eyes, because the worst thing for someone who is either homeless or going through a rough time is not to be looked at, it's just not to be seen. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I've just had the worst weekend of my life. Like, I was supposed to meet the man of my dreams out here, blah, blah, blah. Of course not. I like, you need like a Gatorade and some chips. All right. So I got a Gatorade and chips. I was like, look, I work at a homeless intake center. You do not want to go to county. So I'm going to make sure you don't. And you're going to tell me your name. And I'm just going to make a call real quick. And then I gave her a blanket. It was like, I have to get home to my dogs and my kids. But like, just doing those real things in life. And that was not to like toot my own horn. That's to say that is what people should do. Like, you live in a place of means, then you can stop and look at someone. And of course, there's some people like you just don't have the power to actually help. I mean, like, they're schizophrenic or dangerous, whatever. But if you see someone, look them in the eyes. Just don't look past. And that's the only advice I can give to you. And I think that's akin to being having the bravado to like come up and speak, but it's not that. I don't judge anyone who doesn't come up and speak, but I think it really helps your own self-esteem to just say, hey, I'm Joni. I have been through a lot and I am rocking it.
Yes, I love when I love when you said earlier, introverts. Some people are just extra shy and introverts, and we all, is what I always say. I remember when me and Krista started talking on these events, say years ago. Krista's an introvert. I'm an introvert. Michael's an introvert. Maybe Sam's the only one that I bet Sam is an introvert too, deep down. We just like our peace, right? But in business,
I am not an introvert.
We must show up. We must show up in business. If no one sees you, you're in trouble, right? Dr. Leslie, yes, wow, indeed. Speaking is, I see a big thing in speaking. So my plan is to go on people's stages and speak. Yes, I want that keynote speaker next to my name on LinkedIn, especially, maybe on my CV as well. But I want to, then I'm going to start my own speaking thing for Austins. That's the next stage where I'm going to. Wow. Of course, many of the speaking gigs that we're talking about, inspiring Africans, for example. So the next year is going to be interesting. I actually need to build a team, right? Sam, are you going to share? Or Michael, I'm coming to you. So we've lost you too many times, my friends.
I'll say a couple of things. One, to Joni's point, she says she doesn't like people, but it's funny that she does so many things to people, right? It's funny how the people, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's funny how the people that have been through the most or had the most trauma typically are some of the nicest people. Even when you look at like comedians, comedians typically have a lot of trauma, but they're able to, be funny and mask it.
Samuel, it looks like you've been through some trauma because you've lost an arm.
That's why I can in and out.
You're just like shirt hanging off. Like I was in Iraq.
You have to go there, right?
That's why I've been in and out of this chat, because I'm trying to get something to fix it.
It's a background issue, right?
That's bad.
Holistic health.
I can't even write. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Sam, we'll talk later about the sponsorship thing for sure, right? So I think all our shows probably going to start doing sponsorships because you can only do free for so long, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But showcasing our friends who who offer amazing services.
Well, what I'd like to do at the beginning is like a barter, like I said before, where like I showcase your book on the website for like one event and a sponsor, and then later on we can talk about like as we scale, because I'm still trying to look for that pipeline. I'm thinking this could be a pipeline depending on if I close Lisa and some of the people that we met today. But if this does become a pipeline, then I would just, because you said something the other day that I found really interesting. You said that I don't even do networking anymore. I just do this. And I'm thinking to myself, should I do that as well? Because, the thing with networking is that you don't know, like if you're doing like MLM or you're like a general marketer or a general salesperson, the networking is good because it's just about law of average, right? I run to as many people as possible. For me, what I do is very niche. So I need a niche community. But given that Lisa's in here and she's, in the health space, we did a chat or we did a live, I think last week, I think it was, with a bunch of people where we talked about, I want to say we talked about self-love, and there was a bunch of health coaches in there. So because I'm finding that my niche is attracted to what you do, especially even your book, which is about COVID, I have a little story about that. So we had a provider on our platform that was barred by Google because all she said was shed those COVID pounds. And she was barred by Google and Facebook from running ads for like 5 years. I didn't know why. To this day, she can't run ads. And it's because she made that video and they barred her for running Facebook ads. So the fact that you do, what you do with, with COVID and wellness and stuff like that, I think this definitely could be a good way to create that pipeline. And then when you mentioned about finding a team and doing big events and everything, my thing is I want to be like, like it is with the cheerleaders, where you had the bottom row, or even had the guys that like pump up the girl like that. That's what I want to do for other people. So with you being a speaker and you wanting to do speaking about health and wellness, that's something that we're looking to do next year as far as live in-person events globally, or we fly out providers and everything. So what you're doing could be a potential partnership or collaboration, with that, where you host. Because I trust you as a host, and I trust that if I did like a large-scale event with like 100 providers, 150 providers, 200 providers, whatever, that we would need a good, solid host, not me. Because I don't like the camera, believe it or not. I really don't. Even all my YouTube videos, I'm not on camera. This is really the only time where I don't care, because I cross my fingers, no offense, that not a lot of people are watching. So that not a lot of people see me. And if they do, then, it is what it is. But yeah, so that's something that I could see potentially brewing with you as far as you doing events, and even just creating that resume too. If you host a couple of our big events, that could be a stepping stone for you to do TED Talks or, whatever you want to do, because that's what we're trying to get to. We want to, we would like to rival the big players, but in this space, whether it's TED, whether it's, podcasting for Joe Rogan, we want to really rival the big players, because holistic medicine will never get the shine it deserves unless we push it there. And I know I'm just making it about me in that sense, but when I think of holistic medicine, I don't think about me getting rich. I think about all of the ailments that can be healed, with holistic and alternative medicine. And then everybody else, what they're doing. My children save me not in the way. That's the thing, is that there's so many people that I've met that have had hardships, that have had hard lives, that aren't even in the space, that deserve a shine. Like Joni, for example, whatever she's been through, whether it's trauma or whatever, Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about healing. And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's even what any's about. It's not necessarily about healing, but it's about helping others. It's about being the change that you want to see in the world. And the only way we can do that is with each other. Whether there's people in here that are MLMs that I'll never work with, whether there's people in here that are VAs or PAs or whatever that I'll never work with and that don't even align with what I'm doing at all, there's still a connection and us all coming together for the common good to push something forward. Because there's so many things. I mean, we have people from Africa in this. We have people, Annie's in UK. I'm in this, I'm in Mexico. Joni's in the States. So we have people really from all around the world here. And it's like there's so many things to get us to hate each other, whether it's politics or religion or whatever. And it's like we need more of what brings us together and where we all can thrive. Because the reality is that, the elites or whatever, they don't want us all to succeed. But the reality is that we all can succeed because we're not all doing the same thing. Like I was saying earlier, this is not B&I where only one marketer can succeed. Only one person that does events can succeed. And he even said it with his own mouth. People should go to your events. Not just about me, do your own events. I'm just creating a blueprint because if Annie's blueprint works, he makes money, but so do you. Same thing with our platform. If our platform wins, the market share of holistic medicine grows. Dietitian, nutrition, trauma coaches, health coaches, everything grows. They all win, and so do I. And that's really, I believe, the new wave of doing things. Obviously, AI is going to be involved, like a lot of you guys have mentioned. Things are changing in that way. But the thing that's keeping us all together is community, and it seems like that's what we've lost since 2020 or even before that. I mean, my generation, I graduated college in 2019. My generation is so lost. People, can't public speak, don't know how to talk to each other. People, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. People don't go to the bars anymore. People really don't do anything social when it comes to like my age group on a statistical basis. So having events like this, even though a lot of people in here are probably older than me or my age, having these events where we can come together and create communities, that's the future. The future is creating communities. And like Annie said, it's going to be a hard grind. And I'm glad that you said that, because when I look at, man, I'm not where I want to be. I've only been doing this for a year. And even then, from 3 months last year, the first 3 months of the business, I was doing other things and working on other projects. So I wasn't even doing this full time. So technically, I've only been doing this full time for about, 10 months. And we have providers. So it's like, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just trying to say that for people that feel like it's, you're in a bad spot or you're failing or you failed, it's like, look at the progress. And I'm glad that Annie said that, because it made me look at the progress, because I do have a long way to go, for the goals I have and everything. But it's like, if I just stay consistent and trust the process, then things will succeed and get better. And that's for all you guys, for Joni with your books or what you're doing. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be hard at first, but as you said here, a mother, a survivor, a force of nature, a warrior is what they call me if they don't look past me. And you got to stick with that. Because I think it was yesterday, and he said something very valuable. It was either him, me, or someone else that said, when you're in that phase of the business or whatever you're doing and everything looks good, then it's like, yeah, I can say the affirmations, I can be positive and everything's fine. But when I get to September 21st, now it's like, well, now I'm like, damn, I think I'm just screwed. Am I going to go homeless? Am I going to, you lose faith after the first 3 weeks when there's still 9 to 10 more days left in a month. Or you look at it and you extrapolate it and say, okay, well, over the next 12 months, can I get more people to look at my website or look at my page or reply back to me on LinkedIn or do meetings? That was the thing I looked at. I said, if I don't get the yes and the deal, then I failed. And it's like, no, you at least got people to do a meeting with you, So And again, it's keeping that positive mentality through the hard times, through the times where, you know, my trauma isn't necessarily the same as yours, but, you know, in the sense of being broke, you know, being hungry, you know, stuff like that. That's the trauma that I deal with, you know, that I've overcame. That, you know, Joni has a different kinds of trauma, but it's still, you know, a type of trauma that I got to stay positive and I got to stick with it and I got to stay consistent. And eventually, you know, those no's will turn to yeses, or those no's will hit me back and say, hey, Samuel, I remember that meeting you did with Innie, or I remember that meeting we did 2 months ago or 4 months ago, and I couldn't afford it, but now I can. And, you know, and it's just like, those are the moments that I look forward to. But at the end of the day, you have to trust the process and you have to find love in the grind, you know, and that's what I'm finding is how do I find the love of being broke? How do I find the love of, you know, struggling to get a deal? Like, how do I find the happiness and the joy and in that? How do I find the self-love in that? Right? It's easy to find the self-love when everything's good. That's not even self-love. Like the one guy said, you know, it's like, no. You got to find it in the times of triumph or the times of struggle, so that when you triumph, it feels so much sweeter. And that's where I'm at, you know, just as an anecdote. And, you know, that's what, you know, what I found in the journey and in the grind. And I respect you, Innie, for saying that, because again, it annoys me that I see the mountaintop people, right? But as someone that's, you know, at base camp or on the first, you know, climbing Everest, I'm on the first level, or I just made it to the first checkpoint, you know, that's the moment where it's like, okay, I got to realize that, yeah, I'm on this checkpoint, you know, but I still made it past base camp. And this person or a girl or whatever, you know, they have maybe been doing business for 20 years. You know, I'm pretty sure Innie didn't start doing shows last year in August. Maybe he did. Maybe he's doing great. You know, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Innie, but, you know, that's kind of where I found is like we all start somewhere, and you got to find joy in the hard times. And you also have to like realize you have to give yourself grace. And that's the thing I struggle with, and I am trying to get better at, is giving myself grace, is realizing like, hey, man, you're only 28 years old. You know, most millionaires, I mean, yeah, Mr. Beast, but he started doing his stuff at like 14. You know, I started doing business at 23. It hasn't been 5 years, you know, and I taught myself how to code. And again, I'm not saying this stuff to toot my own horn. I'm just saying this stuff for y'all to look at your own lives and say, yeah, look at what I did accomplish. Yeah, I might not have made a bunch of money. Yeah, I might not have done this, but look at what I accomplished. You know, when I was 23, I didn't know how to code. I didn't know what blockchain was. I didn't know what Ayurveda was. I probably couldn't speak on a call like this and be able to describe my product clearly in a way in which people are in the chat and they actually want to meet with me. Whether that turns into something, that's a whole nother topic. But, you know, I didn't think I was going to be there at 23. And now it's like, instead of looking at it like, damn, like I just said, like, man, well, I didn't get a yes. They might have followed me, but I didn't get a yes. It's like, no, you got to realize like it's a process. And yeah, they might have said not yet or no or whatever, but they might have a friend. You might do another event and then someone comes and then it is a yes, or they got to think about it, or, you know, whatever. And I found like in those moments, you know, even with you, Joni, with your book, you know, the moment where you think, man, damn, where's my sales? And then you look and you don't even think about it. Maybe you take your kid out for ice cream, or you go play with some dogs or whatever. And then you wake up the next morning, you say, dang, look how many people just bought my book. Look how many sales I just got, you know? So
yeah, that's so sweet of you. My little one-armed friend. I put a lot of my books out. I for the reason, not necessarily to make money, because Annie will tell you the truth. Like your first or second or third or fourth book doesn't make money.
Yeah.
I want to put some creativity out in the world that has been instilled in me because I'm 43 years old, and kind of the older you get, the more you learn about life. And it is true. It's like annoying that my parents told me that growing up. I still have so much to learn, and so maintaining a creative direction in part of my life is really a positive thing for me. And so I love your enthusiasm, because I know you're a little bit younger. I wish some days I had that enthusiasm. I still have humor. God, I have humor to the day I die, because that's what makes the world go round and makes you feel okay.
Really, people don't are the funniest. But Annie, I really want to hear what your take on what I said.
You know, look, I think that there's everything you say again. I agree with. You know, really, I think Joni, send me the Suno link on my DM. I can't get it from here, but it's not showing on my LinkedIn stream yet. So send to my DM. I'll play your song. Now, Sam, I think that part of speakers coming on stage is to inspire other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some rooms will say you never know. You know, the positivity room we run, say on Fridays. I say where we say you never know when your story is going to save someone's life. Literally.
Yeah.
You know, so do come and share. That's why we as hosts want people to come and share, because your story is not my story, and you never know you're going to resonate with them more than anyone else in the room on that day, right? You know,
and then you think it's bleak, and you see someone else like Joni. You know, I look at my story and I think, oh damn, you know, it's crazy how the universe works. Every single time that I feel like a lack of gratitude or my life is hard, and again, I don't even know what Joni's been through. I can just tell from her books and everything that she's been through something, right? And the fact of the universe says, man, dude, you got two parents that loved you and cared about you. You have so much that every single time I think, damn, man, my business ain't made it yet. Man, I'm broke, man. I'm da-da-da-da-da. Whatever happens, every single time, the universe is like, yo, you got a lot to be grateful for, man. Yeah. You got a lot to be grateful for. So, Joni, I respect you for that. I don't know why the universe does it, but it does it every single time. Every single time, you know.
Look, as Vincent says, most people look at how far. Most people don't look at how far they've come, or maybe they look at how far they've come, you know, and how far they have to go, right? You know, but they don't see how far they've come. So I get that. I get the second part. For sure, I guess the second part, the first part, Vincent. And most people don't see how far they've come. A year in business, my friend, is nothing. You're a baby, my friend. You know, so I'm 11 years in now. I'm saying that literally. You know, so I had no clue in the first year. Not a clue. No, I didn't know anything. I thought I did, but I knew nothing. Now I look back, especially as Joni is saying, when you get older, you know, you get wiser. You realize, you come a long way, Sam. You know, you're doing the right things. You know, and you know, you learn
wise old owl.
Right?
Wise old owl is not always like. It needs to completion with some of these younger generations that are wonderfully in tune with some different things, especially in technology. And so, you know, I don't ever look down at a younger person or an older persons. I love, gosh, I mean, like our elderly are just they make me just feel so happy.
We appreciate
because I miss my granddad.
We appreciate wisdom. We appreciate wisdom, right? Look,
and we appreciate it all around.
Truly. So I appreciate what Vincent says as well. Learning to enjoy the journey and giving yourself credit is helpful. I mean, we have to do that, Vincent, right? You know, I would say we have to become our greatest cheerleaders. You know, if we don't cheer us, if we don't cheer for ourselves, who's going to cheer for us, right? You know, you don't want to get down because it's not that bad. You know, you made progress, as you say. That's a reality. All of us make it. By being here today, by waking up this morning and going again. We're gonna do it again tomorrow, right? That's progress. Some people, other people just give up. They're done. And say we're not those people, right? So let's, cheer for yourself every day. Celebrate the fact that you have got up and you're keeping the vision alive. You're keeping the dream alive. You're keeping your solution alive. The longer you do that, the more people you're gonna help in the end. That's how the work works.
And like just I feel like now give yourself grace is now like there's not another way to say that. It's kind of oversaid. But enjoy the little things in life. Like, snuggling with your wife at night when you go to sleep, or learning a new skill or having a great meal. Like that, those things are important. It's not important to be necessarily famous. It's not important to be famous. It's important to have happiness.
Look, I can agree, but I think that Sam said it earlier. It's about it's about being famous to your target audience, the people you're here to help. That's the game we're playing. Being famous. I love to put you on TV. I love to put you on mainstream TV. That's my dream, right? But now deep down, as long as people that you're here to serve know who you are, I'm happy with that. And of course, and they patronize you. That's what I was looking for earlier. Everything comes to me.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna? Did you ever watch the show Full House?
No, you're a TV freak. Me and Michael were talking about this yesterday.
I know I am, but that was so long ago. But like, they're best friends, and then they had like Danny and Becky, they had a show called Good Morning San Francisco, and I feel like we could have a show and we would kill it. It was Good Morning Chicago, Good Morning London.
It will baffle me. See, me and Michael were talking because there's this strange reality that not everyone knows that some people are afflicted by. Me and Michael two of those people, right? Now in Africa, we don't watch much TV. We never did because for various reasons that
electricity.
Yeah, that's half the problem. And the TV channels are just not. They're not. I think most Nigerians kids who watch TV and movies tend to watch in Hindi films. Bollywood films. That's what I remember watching as a kid. So then when we come to the Western world, US, UK, we miss all the cultural stuff that you talk about during it. We miss the TV shows that you watch as kids. We never saw them, and we're never going to see them. We're in front of
the TV,
bro. But in the UK, my knowledge gap is in those cultural things that other kids did, which we never are going to do because it went past us. What can I say? TV programs, products that only existed at that time. We missed it. We missed it. That's just how life is, right? Michael, you've been quiet for way too long. Quiet all the way through. Are you there, Michael? It's been amazing shares.
Is Crystal also? Is she just listening? She's just still there.
Yeah, Chris might just be listening. I'm sure she had to go. Michael, you're there. Share with us, Michael. You've heard everyone's conversation the last two and a bit hours, right?
Yeah, this is pretty much okay. So the idea is basically, why do we come and share?
What makes you come on stage? Then? What makes you come to share?
I come to share because I come to learn. I come to learn from people who have actually been there, done that, and have knowledge, and even those who are dreamers, who want to share what they're dreaming about and what they want to get done. I come to learn from those people as well. I get a better audience when I get better perspective when I'm asking questions, because that's the only way I can learn, is by asking questions. If I'm sitting back and I'm confused and I don't ask the questions, hey, but why does this work and why does that work? How did you do that and why did you implement this? And for what reason? I'm not going to get the answers if I'm just shutting up and not asking questions. So I come because I want to ask questions in order for me to learn from people who have knowledge. I
That's
learn faster that
wonderful.
way. Mhm.
They said that is amazing. You know, I know you've been very honest as well, because I remember in the early days you used to come and ask loads of questions. I was like, why, you know, Michael, ask your questions away. Man, some of my friends were like, why is he always asking questions? I'm like, that's what he does. But I guess now we know, you know, you want to know, right? You know, you want to know.
Yeah,
That's
because
the
that's the only way to
curiosity.
learn.
Yeah, no, I hear you loud
Curiosity,
and clear.
and
Yeah,
you come alive that way. And at the same time, it's if I was in a conversation with you, or if I was right next to you and hearing what you had to say, I'd certainly, I'm telling you that I'm listening. And because I'm
awesome.
listening, you understand that because I'm asking
Yeah,
questions.
yeah. No, it's, you know, it's a useful
I'm
thing. It's, you know,
interested
it's
in
useful.
what you have to say. Hmm.
So
And I'm
no,
pretty sure,
that's as good as a reason to come on on our events and definitely get on stage and ask questions that you want to ask. You know, again, no one's mentioned that today, so thank you for sharing, Michael. I appreciate you, my friend.
no
Look,
problem. I'd like to say
Tracy,
one more thing.
Tracy, go for it. Sorry.
Sam, you know what? I'd like to keep my ass where it is, my butt, because I know you like to talk it off. But please, I really like my butt, so let's keep the talking to the minimum because I don't want to sit down and find out, oh, my butt has fallen off. Oh my gosh, where did it go? Sam, I blame you now. I have it in my mind. I'm gonna blame you for it every single time it happens. Thanks. But
When
thanks for the
Michael's
image.
butt cheeks falls off,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting concept. Interesting concept. Look, you know, there's many shows on today. I think the next so Tracy's show is on soon. I don't know how to do this. I know how to do this. I'm confused myself. Okay, so the show is called The Voice of Business Storytelling. Storytelling took a ching. Yeah, okay. Now I get it. So how do you turn storytelling into money? You know, so I know I'm always happy to promote other people's events, you know, and people do it for me too, right? You know, so you know, do go along. I'm going to share the link in the comments. Again, of course, if you want to link, you know, you can ask, but just go to the event page. I'm going to play your song in a second. I'm going to play your song in a second. So so we're going to listen to Joni's song, then we're going to go, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing. I may even end the show on Joni's song. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, right? You know, thank you so much, everyone. I don't know, you know, why can I see me? I never make me the big person on screen, do I? I never do. You know, so thank you so much, everyone. Look, well, you know, hopefully we'll be back here again in 2 weeks' time. If I can come up with an interesting topic that might excite you, my friends. You know, so in the meantime, I want to leave you with Joni's song about her kids. Joni's now a musician. Who knew that, right? Anyway. You know, if anyone got anything else to say, now's your chance. Otherwise, I say thank you. You know, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Without you, there would be no show, right? So let's hear Joni's song and then we can go back to enjoying our Wednesday. Thank you so much, everyone. Here goes. Here goes. Share screen. Let's go. Let's go. Where's Joni? Where's Suno? Where's Sumo? Suno. YouTube is always there on my screen. Okay, there it goes. Hopefully you can all hear it. Turn the volume up any. I've done that. Okay, here goes.
My children saved me. Not in the way that people say, oh, they gave me a reason to live, but in the way that they were watching me. They were watching how I carry myself, how I pick myself up, how I love them fiercely despite the chaos. And one day, I looked in the mirror and didn't see a broken woman, I saw me. A mother, a survivor, a force of nature. Warrior is what they call me if they. A mother, a survivor, a force of nature. Warrior is what they call me if they don't look past me. My children save me, not in the way how I carry myself, how I pick myself up, how I love them fiercely despite the chaos. And one day, I looked in the mirror and didn't see a broken woman, I saw me. A mother, a survivor, a force of nature. Warrior is what they call me if they don't look past me. A mother, a survivor, a force of nature. Warrior is what they call me if they don't look past me. A mother, a survivor, a force of nature. Warrior is what they call me if they don't look past me. A mother, a survivor, a force of nature. Warrior is what they call me if they don't look past me. My children save me.
That's brilliant, right? Yeah, that is brilliant.
My children save me.
Thank you for sharing.
You can stop now. Okay.
I wrote all that. I wrote the beats, but
Yeah,
that's
that's very good, Bernie. Very, very good.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So I'm going to share the link in the comments. So I think with most AI songs, you can just go and listen to it, right? Forget it's AI song. You heard it yourself, my friends. It's it's genius, right?
I mean, I really did write it, and
I know you. Of course, you wrote it. I'm not going to write it for you. So the creation is in writing, and then choosing how the song sounds, right? So well done, you, Joni. That's truly amazing. How do I get rid of this? Oh no, I'm on LinkedIn. That's why I can't get rid of it. Okay, no, so I'm okay. I was looking at the screen. Okay. So I'm going to share the link. If anyone wants to go and knock themselves out, listen a bit more, you can do. Of course, if you're there and you feel creative, then you can certainly sign up to Suno and do your thing, right? We'd love to hear your songs. I think one day my friends who make music are going to put the music out for people to buy and people to actually listen to, right? So well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Look, thank you so much, everyone, for gracing me with your evening. Sam, when are we meeting? Today or tomorrow? Today, is it?
Today.
In 25 minutes?
Yeah, we can. No problem.
Okay, no, I'll check my diary. So I try not to unplug my YouTube.
So that's a UK word, diary. I had another lady said diary today.
Yeah, so what do you call it?
Just a calendar.
Yeah, no, so I'm seeing, Sam, I'm meeting at 8 o'clock. Okay, that's all right.
8 o'clock. Okay, what time is 8 o'clock?
At 3 p.m. EST. We're 5 hours ahead of you.
Ooh, so I have a meeting at 1 o'clock MST, but we can we just do 11 o'clock my time?
So what's that? In 25
what time
minutes?
is it over there? Yeah, 25 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's in 25 minutes. Why not? Let's
All right,
do it.
you want to do a video call, Zoom call, WhatsApp call? What do you feel?
So the Zoom call is better. we have to see each other as we're talking, right?
All right, cool. Well, I'll send over the link when you end the call.
Yeah. Now, Crystal, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for spending your time with us. All those in the audience, look, we appreciate you in the audience. We definitely do. So don't think we don't. We appreciate your comments, your engagement. Again, I'll say this: when it came to audio rooms, we had no chat. So essentially, if you imagine 120 people in a room and even 10 come on stage, that's 10%, right? On these live events, we have something like 95% engagement because people will come to comment. I'll take that, but we'd rather have you in the studio for the benefits we talked about earlier today. Benefits for you, benefits for audience, benefit for me as a host, right? So all those things let's speak up more. So Prue, I see you. So Lisa, of course. Now, hopefully, do connect with each other, my friends. The key to more engagement, the key to everything on LinkedIn, the key to selling more the key to help him more is to make friends, real friends, meet people, talk to them, get to know who they are. You're going to help them, then you tell them how you can help them. They're going to help you. You have to be open to getting help from them too, right? It's all of that. And the same people who you're friends with, the ones who you meet, will show up at your events and speak. Even the shy ones will. That's my strategy, right? Look, enjoy your Wednesday. Sam, I'll see you in a few minutes, my friend. I'm going to get a cup of tea. My dogs are looking at me. I don't know why they're looking at me exactly. Maybe the cat's brought in a dead bird or something. As they do. But you enjoy. Joni, thank you. Say, Michael, thank you as well. Enjoy, my friends. Take care.
Thank you, honey. I'll
Bye,
talk to you later. Bye, honey.
Every step forward is a new beat for your drama. She's success with Google.media.com and celebrating with or without champagne or rum. She's success.